Barbs will vote for me for the 2014 NYX Face Wash.
Look, we're going to start with brows first. So I'm just making sure to comb out and tame my brows using a spoolie brush. Next, using the wax portion from NYX's Eyebrow Cake Powder, I'm going to just tame my brows to make sure that they do not move. This brow color is called Blonde. I decided to use this because Nicki Minaj wears her brows a lot lighter than mine, and so I would like to mimic that. So using an angle brush also from NYX as well, I'm taking small strokes and just making sure to fill in my brows as needed. I still want to maintain a natural look, so I'm not going to fill them in too much, but if you feel like you want to have more of a defined brow, by all means, go for it. Alright, so once brows are done, we're going to move on to eyeshadow. I'm going to place an eyeshadow base onto my entire eyelid. So first I'm using a concealer brush, but then I'm going to move over to warm up the product on my eye using my fingers. And you just want to make sure to place this all over the entire eyelid in preparation for your shadows. For this Nicki Minaj inspired look, I will be doing a cut crease. Cut creases seem to be Nicki's favorite, so we're just gonna keep up with trend with that and keep the party going, right? Alright, so I'm taking a brown shadow. This is from NYX. This is called Own the Night. And a small brush, and just using small strokes, I am curving or carving out my natural curve of my eye. This is how you create a cut crease. So just small strokes is the name of the game. Guys, you do not have to worry about it being straight or being perfect. All of that will be fixed in blending, as you can see here. So I'm using a fluffy brush and not applying any extra product. I'm just going to blend out that cut crease. Now, for other looks, it could be a lot more dramatic, but we're going to keep it very simple. So you don't need to add a whole lot of product, but you can still see it. So as you guys can see, I'm just continuing to buff out the color and make sure that everything looks uniform. And here's our tidbit for you. When you're creating your cut crease, make sure that you blend upward so that you can still kind of see that line there, and that's how you and I and the world knows that it is a cut crease, honey. Alright, so instead of using shadow, I'm actually going to use NYX's bronzer as a shadow replacement, and that's a little trick that you guys can do. But I'm going to really blend out the colors and make it look a lot more seamless using the bronzer. I prefer to use bronzers or blushes, earth tone blushes, when applying shadows because they look very natural on the skin and in terms of like your placement. So you can definitely use that if you're going for a natural look. Now that our cut crease is done, we can move on to our mobile eyelid. So I'm going to use NYX Wonder Pencil in the color medium. This pencil can be used for several different things. So as you guys can see, I'm kind of using it as a base, but you can use it in your waterline as well as your brow bone to add a highlight. I'm just using this as a primer though. So after that, I'm going to really blend out using a concealer brush. My purpose of blending this out is because I want to have a seamless finish throughout, and I do not want to see breaks or like kinks in between my shadow placement. So just blend, blend, blend. If you don't have a concealer brush, always remember you can use your finger to warm up that product and really move that product around. Taking my Glam shadow from NYX in the color Boost, I'm going to place this right on top of that Wonder pencil with a fluffy brush also from NYX. Now if you use a fluffy brush as opposed to one that is more, that has more fibers, you'll get a very blown out appearance, and it will look like it's kind of coming from within, which is that's really what I'm going for. I really want to make sure that although we see the colors, it's still very soft. So once you apply that product, you may notice that you've lost a little bit of your cut crease. So just go back in with a little bit of that bronzer and blend everything out so that it makes sense with each other and is in unison. I promise you guys, you can never do too much blending when it comes to your eyeshadows. So to enhance my brow bone, I'm gonna take that same Wonder pencil and place the color right at the highest point of my brow bone. I can't specify this enough. When you place the color at the highest point of the brow bone, you don't have to apply as much product to the brow bone, which is a good thing. So just the highest point. Always remember that once you apply a product to your brow bone, to definitely blend out any color that is underneath it. So I usually take a fluffy brush with no product on it and just blend that out so that everything makes sense with one another. Alright, so no Nicki Minaj look is ever complete without a serious liner. So for this, I'm going to use the NYX The Curve liner to create a typical cat eye. So for me, when I'm making my cat eye, I like to use a couple of reference points. So I pay attention to where the end of my brow is at, and I kind of try to sort of connect the wing liner with that. If you do that, then your lines on both eyes should be pretty similar. And then you're going to take a diagonal line and just connect the two. So for me, I want the inner part of my eye to be very thin, so I'm making sure to stay really close to the lash line. And you can take this line all the way into the inner tear duct. Our next step is to apply false lashes. So I'm using NYX Special Effects Lash in Divalicious. These are some serious lashes, guys. And they reminded me so much of Nicki Minaj, like I could not pass them up. I had to use these for the look. So while we're letting our lashes dry, we're going to move on to our face. So I'm going to use Angel Veil by NYX. This is a primer, and it is just to prepare the skin for foundation. So I never skip out on primer. It is your first line of defense when having a very seamless, a very flawless foundation application. So to set my foundation, I'm going to use NYX's Set It, Don't Fret It matte powder. I'm just gonna apply this all over my face using a soft brush, just to make sure that my foundation lasts all day. After that, using our trusty beauty blender, we are going to contour the face. So since I'm trying to mimic and look like Nicki Minaj, I'm going to do some heavy highlighting and contouring, but for the everyday gal, you wouldn't do as much product. So same formation, but just not as much product is applied. And for an everyday use, I probably would not take it as far down to my cheek as I am right now. Again, I'm just kind of trying to reconstruct my face to look more like hers. And for this look, she wears a very heavy highlight and contour. So just make sure you blend out the highest points of your face, down your nose, your forehead, cupid's bow, and chin. And then follow it with your setting powder again. I really like it. This setting powder is very soft on the skin. It's almost like it is not there, and I like that. So now that we have highlighted the face, it's time to move on to contouring. I'm going to use NYX's matte bronzer in the color medium. Now, you can use a darker color, but I choose to use something a little bit lighter because you can always add to, but it's very hard to take away when you apply too much product to the face. And we've invested so much time in doing this look that we do not want to mess it up and have to start all over again. So just take a little bit at a time, and if you want to darken your contour, just continue to build the color like you see me doing here. So I'm just using the traditional planes of the face just around my forehead, down my cheekbone, and then later you'll see me contour my nose. So Nicki has a very small nose compared to mine, so I am going to contour to mimic her nose. So as you can see, I'm going a little bit closer into the bulb of my nose just to make it look a lot smaller. And then using a fluffy brush, I'm just gonna blend everything out so that there is no harsh lines. You do not want to see harsh lines in your nose, ladies. Don't do that. So to add a little bit of glow to my skin, I'm going to use NYX's Radiant Finishing Powder in Sun Kissed. And then I'm gonna follow that with their Baked Blush. So this is really cool because it gives you a very like hydrated appearance and very healthy skin appearance when using this blush. So I like to just put this right on the apples of my cheeks just to give me a radiant glow. I also like this product because you can definitely build it without it looking overdone. Alright, so by now our lashes should be completely dry. I'm going to take NYX's Curvaceous Mascara and apply mascara, a generous amount of mascara to my bottom lash. But I'm just going to apply a little bit of mascara to my top lash just to marry my natural lash and false lash together. Alright, so now that we're done with our face, it's time to move on to lips. So I'm just going to prime my lip using NYX's lip primer. I'm going to follow that with Purple Rain lip liner. I like to use a liner that's a little bit darker than the actual lipstick that I'll be using just to kind of frame my lips a little bit better and to give sort of an ombre effect. But as you guys can see, my line is very thin, so it's not going to be as pronounced. So after your liner, be sure to apply your lipstick. So in true Nicki Minaj fashion, I'm going to do a very bright, very opaque pink lipstick, and this color is called Pale Pink. I'm just going to use my fingers just to blend everything out. So no need for brushes or as many brushes as you think you might need. Just use your fingers and blend everything out. Then I'm going to follow it with one of my favorite NYX products. It is the Butter Gloss. This is called Merengue. Merengue? Merengue. Alright, there we go. Merengue. I'm just going to apply it generously until I get the desired amount that I like. And I think we're done.
Darling, where are you?
See,
the dog's on the set.
On it.
Alright, I'm gonna try it. Okay. I don't know, do my hands.
Next one.